Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we're going to be continuing our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. This is numbers 80 down to 71. Just remember though, if your beloved wonderful Euro Ameritrash crappy game ain't on this list, then there's two reasons for that. It's because one, we ain't played it, or two, it's complete shit. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, will you? We'll see you after this. Bollocks. So number 80 on this is 80. Yeah, number 80 on this list is a game called Wallenstein. In Wallenstein, you will be vying for full control of Germany as it was back in the day. You'll be sticking cubes into different provinces and getting cards that you will play into different action slots. It will give you points to win the game, right? Battles are fought using the tried and tested Queen Games cube tower. It's a weird contraption where you'll be throwing cubes into the top of the tower and they'll be hitting these little ramps on the way down, and eventually cubes will come out, and that's how you'll be fighting the battles. We're a little bit disappointed with the big box version of this because essentially it's just the core game with a couple of really crappy expansions that you're not ever going to use. So my advice is avoid the big box, just get the old version of this. And if you're looking for a really enjoyable medium weight Euro area control game, then Wallenstein is a fantastic choice. So number 79 on this list is a game called Powerboats. This is a roll and move game. Yes, I can hear you screaming at me, roll and move, what the fuck's a roll and move game doing on a top 100? I'll tell you why a roll and move game is in our top 100, because you're actually going to be making choices with the dice, right? These are no ordinary dice, these are special dice. They're custom dice that give you a number between 1 and 3. You'll be rolling the dice and you'll be choosing how many dice you want to roll. You can either give some up or you can take another die that will allow you to go slower or faster. So it's sort of like a push your luck game, but also a roll and move game as well. The way this game works is you'll be rolling the dice and then you'll have to move that number of spaces in a straight line. But at the beginning of your turn, you'll be able to orient your boat around the hex. Basically, the player that manages to navigate all of the buoys, that sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? And gets back to the start stroke finish line first will be the winner of Powerboats. This game is absolutely fantastic. It looks a bit crap, but if you can get over your abject hatred, your inbuilt hatred in your mind for roll and move games, I'm sure that you will find at least a smidgen of fun in Powerboats. So number 78 on this list is another racing game. It's a car-driven racing game called Flamme Rouge. Not only does this game have a name that could be confused with something kind of rude, but it's also a bloody good laugh. In Flamme Rouge, you'll be playing cards that will allow you to move your rider forward on the track, and there's some rules for drafting and all that sort of stuff, but essentially this is like a more elaborate version of the old classic racing game Ave Caesar, right? There's a couple of expansions for this. There's the Peloton expansion, which adds an extra player and some more fiddly rules that make the game a little bit more complicated, but not that much more complicated. And there's the Meteor expansion, which adds weather conditions, and yeah, we're not too keen on that one. Yeah, but as it stands, Flamme Rouge is a game that keeps you guessing right up to last minute. It's not a case most of the time that there's going to be a runaway leader, right? You're going to be able to catch up and also stitch players up in the process. If you're looking for a Tour de Force, Tour de France style game, then Flamme Rouge is a pretty good option. So number 77 on this list is a game that deals with death and disease in a strange sort of way. It's called Village. This is a bog standard worker placement game, but with the added bonus of your family members croaking when you really want them to. Unfortunately, I didn't have life insurance back in the Middle Ages, so you're just going to have to bury them either in the church or in a pauper's grave a la Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So in Village, you'll be drawing cubes out of a bag and you'll be placing them on different locations. Then you'll be sending your villagers out to work, and each round they will get a little bit older and eventually they will snuff it and you'll have to put them in the church. There's loads of things you can do in this game. You can go and get married and have another worker, right? Because back then you used to shove kids down chimneys. You can send your family member out into the great wide world to go and nick some gold, or you could just chuck them in the stables where they can clean up a load of horse shit. We still enjoy playing Village today. I just love the mechanism where your management of time is the most important aspect of winning this game. And yeah, if you like Euro games, really, I think you probably have played Village already. And if you haven't, then you probably should go out and get it. There's a couple of expansions. There's the Inn expansion, and there's something to do with boats. And there was another game which we haven't played called My Village. I haven't got a clue what that is. If you know if that's related to this one, then leave a comment down there because I'll be interested to know. But yeah, Village, we do like this quirky but really bog standard Euro game. So number 76 on this list is a game that sees you rolling dice and then deciding to place them on the board on different personalities. It's Kingsburg, right? Like we just said, you'll be rolling 3 dice and you'll be able to place these dice on any number between 2 and 18 depending on what you roll. So if you roll 2 6s and a 2, then you can go for 8 and 6 and then 8 and something. It's not just a case of cuddling up to your favourite personality because you've got the threat of all these goblin invaders or different types of nasties that are going to come in at certain points in the round and try and kick you in the arse. So you've got to prepare for that. There is an expansion for this, or at least in the first edition expansion, to Forge a Realm, which is pretty much essential, but I'm pretty sure that that was included in the reprint. I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, Kingsburg, a great dice chucking, dice splitting, side splitting game that we really, really enjoy. So number 75 is the second Splotter game on this list. It's Food Chain Magnate. Again, this game looks like a complete turd in a box. It was criticised for the lack of thought that went in to the aesthetics. The box looks great. It's got a great looking picture on the box. The player aids come like little pizza menus, right? So that's good. But when you look at the actual board itself, it's just a grid. It looks like it's been lifted from a 1980s comprehensive school ream of graph paper. Now we've got that out of the way, Food Chain Magnate is a card driven game. You'll be hiring employees and firing employees to work for your restaurant. You'll be advertising your heart attack inducing cuisine to make the most money and to win the game, right? Food Chain Magnate is a little bit long, but that's okay because it's engaging all the way through. Plays great all the way through, all the player counts. It's one of them games where you have to learn your way through the myriad of different options and different combinations of stuff, which is why it's one of the few Splotter games that's a mainstay on this list. Yeah, we love Food Chain Magnate, a little bit expensive, but if you can hunt it down when Splotter does all the reprints sporadically, then it's worth picking this one up. So number 74 on this list is a game that we fell out of love with for quite a long time, but we've recently come back to it because we picked up one of the expansions. It's 5 Tribes. This is a game where you'll be picking up meeples on a modular board which is made out of tiles, and you'll be dropping these meeples off, and wherever you leave your last meeple, then you'll take that action. This is a game by Bruno Cathala, so you're guaranteed to have extra bits and bobbins that is bolted onto this. So you've got the wonderful genies that are going to give you special abilities you can pick up in the game, and there's loads and loads and loads of different scoring options. It doesn't make it a point salad, but the wealth of different options available to you when scoring the game is pretty good. There's a really nice turn order selection which you would expect from Bruno Cathala, and like we said, the expansion, the Artisans of Nakala, has reinvigorated this game for us, and we do really enjoy playing it once again. So yeah, 5 Tribes, wonderful production from Days of Wonder, as you would, well, sort of used to have expected. They've gone off the ball recently, but yeah, it's a fantastic pick up and dump down sort of game. Number 73 on this list is a game by Peter Hawes. It's called Royals. This game will see you try and take control of different areas of medieval Europe, and you'll be trying to impress the courtly personalities associated with each region. You'll be chucking cubes down on the board like you do in most of these sort of Euro games to show your influence in each region. At the end of every round, there's 3 rounds in this game, you'll be scoring points based on different criteria, like who's got the most cubes in each region, and also at the end of the game, you'll be scoring points for how many of these personalities you have sucked. Royals was one of these Dice Tower Essential pies that Tom Vassell got his fingers stuck into, and yeah, it is warranted on this occasion. We've looked at some of the other games in that line and they're pretty crap, but this game is always engaging. It's very, very simple. Looks a little bit bland, won't inspire any of these Europhobes to come over to the dark side, but yeah, Royals, a fantastic game. We love it, love it, love it, love it. So number 72 on this list is a dexterity game that tries to replicate tennis on your dining room table. It's called Set a Match. This game sees you flicking a disc which looks like a tennis ball.
It's not going to look like a fucking snooker ball, is it?
And you'll be flicking it backwards and forwards, trying to get it into certain positions that will make your opponent fuck up. This follows the basic rules of tennis. You'll be moving a marker backwards and forwards until somebody hits 40 points and wins a certain amount of games. There was a huge, big, massive Wimbledon version of this, but we looked at it and thought, well, the game's really, really good, but we just couldn't stretch that far. It was about 65 quid, so that was a big no-no. But this game, on its own, the clay court version isn't actually made of bleeding clay, you twat, but the clay court version is pretty cheap, 25 quid, and we do love this two-player dexterity game. If you love dexterity games, you don't even need to like tennis to play this, you just need to have played sort of Pong. So yeah, it's a highly recommended game, and we love it a lot. Number 71 on this list is a game about horse racing. It's Long Shot, and it's going to be a bloody long shot. You can pick this one up because it's been out of print for donkey's years. Get the pun there, did you? In this game, you'll be acquiring different horses that will do different things, and you'll be acquiring cards that will help you and hinder your opponents, right? It's one of our favourite horse racing games of all time. It's right up there with other games like Winner's Circle and all that sort of crap. It's just a shame this game's long out of print. There was a card game reprinted a few months ago. I think all the usual paid preview YouTube money grabbing influencers got hold of a copy of that. They got paid and fucked off into the wilderness. So yeah, I don't know what happened to that one, but yeah, hopefully Long Shot the board game will come back in print and you'll be able to experience the highs and lows of horse racing betting and put yourself into the shoes of Paul Merson when he was 25. So there you go, that's the third instalment. Seems like we've been here bloody 100 years, doesn't it? But yeah, it's the third instalment of our top 100 board games of all time, 2021 edition. There's another 7 of these fucking things to go. I hope you aren't thinking about killing yourself just yet, but if you are, then don't do it, because we'll be back in a couple of days with the next instalment. We're not quite into that section where we'll be talking about games that make a little bit of wee come out, but we will get there eventually, so hold tight and wait for the next video. If you are newer, please consider subscribing to this channel if you ain't already. Hit the like button, comment, all that bollocks, and we'll see you next time.